All right. Welcome to Truth, Realness, and Options, Season 5. Happy New Year to everyone. We're back. You know how we do. You know what I'm saying? I am your host, Shady Will, Darian Willis of Social Ghosts Incorporated, representing for my boy, Jeff Trotter. Shout out to Keontae Taylor. And today we are here with Mr. Calvin Delancy
Yes, Delancy.
of Foxy Orange Creations. What's going on, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
All right.
Still not sure how I got here. Just woke up here in this chair, but we're going to figure it out.
Okay. Now, we just came in, music came into, if you're wrestling fans, we listen to Cult's Personality by CM Punk. So I looked at Calvin. I see he has a skull hat on. He has the unicorn. And I'm thinking about, are you a New Day fan and do you watch wrestling?
I do not.
Okay,
Unfortunately, no. I'm just some weirdo who saw a mold for unicorn horns and went, my niece would love one of those.
Okay.
I bet all the other little girls who I keep come and see and look at all my stuff would love those. I want to make wearable unicorn horns.
Okay. So where did this inspiration come from?
Honestly, it all started because I was looking at GeekCon stuff. I was like, all right, well, let's go to GeekCon this year. And I was talking to the director of operations for Ivan Smith, where I worked at the time. And he goes, Calvin, how much do you make an hour? And me, being very skeptical, went, I should lie. This feels like a talk where it's going to decrease my pay. I was wrong. I got a $3 raise and went, I'm going to go be a vendor at GeekCon now. I don't remember why I was thinking about it, but that's where it started. And it started with what, and I should have brought some of them. But what it started with was me doing chess piece molds and making keychains, and then it just kind of branched out. Now I just have I still have a box full of them. Okay. They barely ever sell, but just a box full of them. And then it turned into earrings mostly, which is still my bread and butter because earrings are easy and they're fun to do. And I haven't seen anybody who makes as silly earrings as I do, at least that I claim. I'm sure somebody might, but I'll fight them for that title of silliest earring.
I got you. So I'm sitting here, and I see a lot of his work sitting in front of me, but I've also been privileged to see some of his work online on social media. So we'll be kind of showing y'all the art that he has here. And we were kind of talking offline, and I was like, man, when did you become an artist? And, what did you kind of express to me about?
I don't really see myself as much more of an artist because I don't try to, express anything, it make you try to feel any type of way. Like a painter, usually tries to make somebody cry or be happy with their painting or something like that. I just like to make stuff. So I view myself as a maker. That's me, or that's my opinion. Now I make art, yes, but I prefer the title of maker rather than artist.
Okay, so how long have you been into that creative space of being a maker?
I just about just about all my life I've been making one thing or another. Okay. Whether or not it was good or not is relative. I wouldn't say that I actually started making actual cool stuff until when I was in high school, and the first thing I made was a little bronze claw necklace, and I still have it. I'm still very proud of it. In fact,
claw.
Yeah. So just like a little claw that I made into a pendant. I had seen this I want one. I kept seeing it's like the cameraman over there. He's got a little claw pendant on. But I kept seeing people with those, and I was like, I want to make one. And so I took this large chunk like a brass pipe fitting that I took, and this makes me laugh every time I think of it. I found it sitting next to a water well hole, right out front of the Red Lobster, family dinner, the parents, the brother, grandparents. We went to Red Lobster. I guess it was one of their birthdays. I found this pipe fitting, and me, being mildly autistic and 14, went, ooh, shiny. Huh, there's another one. Huh, they have two. And I took it. And then I just carved chunks off of it to try to do things with. And that was actually, I don't even think I have the rest of the thing anymore. I think I threw it away in the move because it was just scrap at that point.
Okay.
But I'd carved it. I spent a good like week carving a chunk into doing different methods of carving into it with a Dremel and drilling into it with on my dad's little milling machine, and just shaping it until I had this nice little brass claw, and I still have it. And now that I'm talking about it, I kind of regret not wearing it to this.
I got you.
But I wanted to wear this, which is it's a Greek coin. It's got a little atom on it, and I made this into a pendant because I just found this at a thrift store and a big bin of foreign coins, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna dig through that, and I found this, was like, oh, it's got an atom on it. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
And it's got one of the Greek philosophers' head on the other side, which makes sense.
I got you.
I thought it was Russian for like a good couple months, and then I Googled Russian coins to try and figure out one day if it really was Russian, and I was like, oh, it's not. And then I was looking at the atom, and that guy's like, it might be Greek. I Googled it, and I was like, oh yeah, it's Greek. It's definitely Greek.
Okay. So, just based on research that I've done, like you're a vendor at a lot of the market, the markets they have in Bossier. You were at the Human Harmony Weekend pop-up vendor event.
Yeah.
Like, how often do you do that?
Just about as often as I can. Because sometimes you got to strike while the iron's hot, especially for like the Bossier night market that's behind the mall and whatnot. Like, you have to sign up for that a couple months in advance, or some like this. The one I have one this weekend that's at Seventh Tap on Saturday. Okay. It starts at like 7. I forgot the name of it. I'll look it up here in a minute, I reckon. But that starts at 7, and that one's just you just message a guy on Facebook who another person who ran an event that I was a vendor at had commented on this guy's post because he was looking for vendors. And he's like, oh, I'll tag a bunch of vendors from that I was in or that I used. And so I did that, and I messaged the guy, and now I'm on that one. Sometimes it's you just see an advert on a billboard. Like, that's like the one of like the second or third event that I ever did was 318 Days Festival a couple years back.
Yeah.
And I just saw a billboard for it like on like a Sunday, and it was on a weekend, and I saw the billboard, and so I looked it up and got in touch with the Shreveport Regional Arts Council or whatever it was, or whoever actually puts that on, and did that one. I signed up for that, made some money there. I'll do like the Glow Night festivals or the Glow Nights that's actually done by the Shreveport Regional Art Council, that I know for sure is Shreveport Regional Arts Council. That's down by the river, right next to the bridge and whatnot, in downtown next to the aquarium.
Yeah.
I'll do some of their other events that they have at the Caddo Common Park, which aren't always like super profitable, but it's always fun to go do. I'll do the Shreve Pride events.
Okay.
Because they're not only do I usually make really good money at those events, but I just love the people. And I'm so glad that I had no job one day and was really bored and was looking through Facebook and saw somebody post, hey, we need volunteers to help us set up for this event. You can volunteer here. And I was like, why not? I'll sign up for that. That thing's tomorrow. There's no way I'll get into it, but whatever. And then 2 hours later, I got an email. Hey, here's your vet. Here's your schedule for volunteering. And that's how I started doing Q-Prom. And that's fun. So I volunteer at that every year. So I always end up getting a free ticket, which is fun. Q-Prom there's no vendors at it, but Q-Prom is always fun. It is always fun.
Okay. So the jewelry, I see the jewelry that you're wearing. Did you create that jewelry as well?
Yes, the copper pieces. Yes, it's just this little swirly one is just 14 gauge because I'm my day to day, and I'm a little between jobs right now. So if anybody needs an electrical apprentice, let me know. Okay. But it's just 14 gauge copper wire from some Romex. It's the ground. because the ground comes out of Romex without a sheathing on it. And sometimes I'll just pick up the offcuts because again, ooh, shiny. And I'll mess with that. And like I made this one like about 2 minutes before I walked out of the door, and then the little nose ring I made on a job site because I was bored and had had 10 seconds to myself. So I just went, fold, cut. I have nose ring now, boss.
Okay. All right. So welding, do you weld?
I actually can. Yeah. I prefer to do MIG. That's what I've had the most experience on. It's just fun. I do not like stick welding. Stick welding is very annoying to me.
Okay.
I can do it. I can do it. I can. I know I can. It's not my favorite.
I got you. So we were talking prior to the show starting. I was like, well, the ceramic, and you kind of expressed to me this is not ceramic. And for those that are not familiar with this type of art, what is this?
It's resin art, and
Resin
that
art.
particularly this actually glows in the dark, and this isn't wearable. This is just I do make wearable unicorn horns, as you can see.
Yeah.
They're magnetic, come with an extra pouch. This one's just one that I made because to get these, you have to get it comes in a mold of a pack of 3.
Mhm.
So you get this big one, this one, and then a teeny one about this big.
Okay.
I don't know why my voice dropped for that, but I thought it was funny. It's just autonomic response there, talking about something small. It's just resin. This one glows in the dark. It's just you over there laughing and it's trying to make me not laugh.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you. I can't be too mad. You're the host. It's just a giant glow in the dark unicorn horn, so it sits there. But in case you need it, it also gives you +5 to bludgeoning attacks. That's just a bonus feature, though. It's not a main selling. Mostly, it's just art, and it glows in the dark. I need to get it some sunlight so it'll actually sit there and glow. Mostly, it just sits there.
So, what motivated the flower?
The flower was I was bored on Temu, and I found a mold, and I decided to try it out. And I thought maybe I could do something. These smaller ones are actually kind of fun to do, even though I still have to use. I have to use different resin than what I normally use because they're so thick.
Mm-hmm.
If I do it like all in one pour, like these 2 different resins right here than what I made this out of, and this is almost thick enough to where I would need to use the different resin, but it's just thick enough not to. And I'll get into that because I'm mildly pleased at myself for that, just the mold itself being perfect. But this is made with deep pour, and it takes about like another whole day to cure rather than the normal stuff, which cures in about 8 hours or so usually.
Oh wow!
But because it's so thick, you see how like there's almost no bubbles at the bottom.
Right.
The other ones that I do that I've done with the normal resin, they'll cure in about 2 hours. But the downside is I get a lot of bubbles at the bottom. When I do this particular mold with the normal resin, it'll cure in about 1 to 2 hours or so.
Okay.
Because of the excess heat buildup in it, and it forces it to cure itself. But it also means I get a bunch of bubbles right down here at the bottom. Yeah. So I don't particularly like them. So I don't do that one in clear. I'll do opaques in that.
Okay.
Like you could kind of see how translucent this is,
okay,
and how not translucent this one is.
All right.
And most of the time with the regular resin, I'll just do layers of little bits of whatever's left from what other pour I have, and that's how you kind of get this weird like green effect on there. I poured an orange in and then some green on top. I reckon. I don't really remember what I was pouring right there, but it's kind of a cool effect on that strip.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if someone requested, do you make stuff on request?
I would I don't get a lot of requests, but I am totally down for it. I made and I never my Etsy shop never got much traffic, so I might start messing with it again, especially if I get a lot of requests. I might end up doing an Etsy shop, but I did dropped it. I broke it. This is why I can't have nice things.
Here we go. I got you.
All right. And I got the magnets. There we go.
Okay.
But I remember doing a post. I believe I may have taken it down or I may have never finished it. But to do a custom unicorn horn order, I mean, you just choose color and then glitter and whatnot, and then I'll top it off at the end. And these take about a day. so it's not hard. And I've got like 3 molds now, so
Okay.
I can I can mass produce them. In fact, I have a whole small tote full of unicorn horns.
Okay. So if people want to purchase, what's your preferred method to pay?
I do Cash App, Venmo. Um, I can take PayPal. I don't like to take PayPal just because the particularly the last time I tried to get some money off PayPal and back onto my card, I had some problems. Now
Okay.
maybe that wasn't my fault, but I haven't tried again either.
I understand. Okay. So you heard it here first. He expressed the payment methods that you can use, and how can we find your creation, your creative,
On
so we can.
Instagram at
Okay.
Foxy Orange Creations. Uh, you can also find me at local shows here in the Shreveport Bossier area, but mostly on Instagram. If you want to call and or hit me up on Instagram and say, "Hey, make me this," then yeah, like I just did, and I forgot to post it on Instagram, but I just finished a custom order last weekend for a guy.
Okay.
He wanted some crow earrings, so I made him 4 sets of the crow in different poses. One standing up, one hunching down, one looking this way, and one just with its wings out.
Okay.
I called them moods of crow because I thought it was funny.
Okay. So it actually leads me into my last question. When someone wants to order the jewelry, what's the turnaround on that? So if someone wanted something like that, which is, and I know you said it takes days for
Yeah,
curing and stuff
yeah.
like that. So
Resin stuff can take up a day, or can take up to a day, or at least a day,
okay.
depending on. Well, no, because I can't current. I was going to say, depending on what it was, but usually now, even just the ponds usually take only take a day. Uh, just blah blah blah. I cannot talk today, and I'm sorry for that. It usually at least a day or about 8 hours. Like if you really said, hey, I need these in like first thing tomorrow morning. If you give me at least 8 hours, I can usually have it done, or have you something. If nothing else, I'll go buy some spray paint and spray paint some other ones for you if I need to.
I got you.
Uh, but I'll make an order happen. Now, mostly I'll do silly stuff, little dinosaurs, steampunk stuff. The crows, chess pieces. I haven't have some that I've done, which I'm proud of because they're incredibly silly in my opinion. Is the little turquoise skulls with the cowboy hats on them. Love
Okay.
those. I found the cowboy hat beads and I went, I need these. Here's going to be something silly.
Okay. So what's most popular? What do you notice that people actually buy from you?
People a lot of mostly end up buying earrings from me. Out of my boxes, the roses and what I have here. I would say the unicorn horns, because the little girls love those. I mean, I have this pastel, well, mostly pastel one. I ran out of the resin that I use to do the pastel because that's also another resin. Actually, I could do these pastel ones. I can get like 3 or this pastel one is quick cure or quick cast.
Okay.
So like if I was to do like all pastel, like just a whole pastel blue one, it'd be out in like an hour because it quick cast occurs in like 5 to 10 minutes, and I just give it a little bit extra time just to make sure it's fully completely set. Um, I would I I was at Ugly Fest, and I had one guy come up, and he was clearly one of the head bikers. He was looking around at all the unicorn horns, chuckling him to himself, and he picks up a pink one. It's like, oh, this one's perfect. And sometimes it's an Ugly Fest, so they're there to screw around with their buddies, all that, get drunk, have a rompous good time. And he was clearly looking for one that looked very effeminate. Obviously, it turns out he was giving it to making a prospect wear it,
Oh, okay.
which was a funny exchange to watch, just because they did it like right in front of my booth. But I gave him the other pastel one that I had. I was like, "No, sir, you want this one?" He's like, "Yes, I do."
Okay. Okay. So for those that are watching now, can you tell us a little bit more about the other things that we haven't talked about?
Right here I have a for you glass ring people out here, or actually no, particularly for people who don't wear glasses but have friends who wear glasses, so you can understand the so you can understand the plight of wearing glasses. I have astigmatism right here. It's just a bunch of sticks and in resin, and I call it astigmatism. It's a pun.
Okay. So we do have this other piece.
Yeah, this is a preserved rose. I'll do now. This one particularly is a rainbow rose, but this all started out because a friend knew I was crafty and asked me, "Hey, my aunt died. Can you preserve something? Can you preserve this rose? I really want to keep it." And it took me a minute to figure out what to do with it, but I did preserve that rose, and it did survive. And so now I'll preserve roses. I've made just a couple of them. Throughout the time I've made, drop my jewelry. I'll get it here in a second. I've made some to impress girls, like any man. Occasionally we do stuff to impress women we think are cute.
Okay.
This one's just a rainbow rose. I got it from the Nila Pride over in Monroe. They had a small party or an opening party for the vendors and whatnot, and I got a couple from the centerpieces that they had on each table, and I got them with permission. And I took them home after the event and dried them out, and I think about eight or nine of them survived,
Okay.
or were in good enough condition from after the trip to be dried, because it took me a couple days to find the drying stuff, the drying crystals, because everybody is in town. Because the drying crystals you have, that they come in a bag, and it's basically silica gel, except the only addition for the flower drying ones is they've got these little indicator beads, which are blue, which means they're ready to use, but when they turn pink, you have to bake them and whatnot. And okay, every single one at Hobby Lobby, here and in Marshall, they were all pink. And so I had to get the big, huge bag that was just straight like powder from Michael's, and it was the only one that they had, and it was the only one that actually was good, and I didn't have to bake beforehand. Is anybody who's tried to bake them? Because it's silica gel. You open up a silica gel packet, you get that in like shoes or something,
yeah,
and it's like beads. Well, the stuff you'd get from Hobby Lobby is also beads, so it's really hard to pour onto a tray and then bake because it bounces, which is a pain,
man,
because it just bounces. So you lose about half of it to on the floor every time you try to go put it in a pan or do something with it.
Okay. So out of all of your work that we have here, what you think would be the most difficult and which would be the most time consuming to create? Would it still be the rose?
The roses in particular, these roses, no, I mean, okay, what takes the longest,
yeah,
just like all overall, it is this, because you have to wait like 2 weeks. Now you can like fast dry it in a microwave apparently with that gel. I don't like to do that. I just put it in a dark place in my closet and let it sit for 2 weeks, and that way it's a set and forget, and it just stays there. What took the longest to make was this, because I made this all with deep pour, and it took a good while for each layer to set up. Okay. As you can kind of see where you get somewhere it kind of transfers between and somewhere it doesn't. Like I think that's actually supposed to be like this is, yeah, you can hardly tell. It just kind of looks all green, but it was yellow and then green. And I think I tried to start with a pink up top and then go into orange, but you can't. That pink didn't go well. So this took the long, was what I would consider the most difficult out of them at the time, was to do that. And this I just did over. I mean, this took like about a month, I think, because that's just like little bits. The stigmatism, it's just little bits over and over that I poured in and then put my sticks into, and eventually decided it was funny, so I took it to an event.
I got you. And did you get the responses you were expecting?
Yeah, I got a good couple chuckles. Okay. I did not sell it, which I will laugh the day that somebody decides to buy the stigmatism from me. Is a day that it will be a good day. I could get shot and it would still be a good day.
All right, so how much is the stigmatism?
I will let the stigmatism go for about $40 because that's about how much. About how it's one in. It's just supposed to be an art showpiece. It has no other focus, but it's I could be like some artists and just do a line on a paper and go $10,000. But no, this is reasonable. It's 40. That's about how much resin went into it in total.
Okay.
And it's just about that, a resin, pigments, and whatnot. And there's still even some pigment just like on the skin. Of like if you hit this thing with a black light, it pops. If I gave it a little sunlight, it would glow in the dark too.
Awesome. Okay, so for those that are watching Truth, Realness, and Options, I'm Shady Will. We really appreciate you coming through and talking with us. If you want to reach out to Calvin to get his preferred method, you said is Instagram.
Yeah, is Instagram.
Okay.
From there, the more I think about it, the more I think I should probably make a Facebook page too. But people are mad at Facebook right now, so I'm not sure of the efficacy of that.
Okay.
I had a TikTok at one point, but there's the whole ban and what have you about that. But also TikTok kicked me out of my account one day. I don't think I was banned. I just think it auto logged me out because wasn't nothing bad on my page anyway.
Okay.
Didn't have but like 50 people following me,
Yeah.
so I don't know how I could have got banned if I even did. But I stopped checking on it. I can't. People sending me like, "Oh man, you're gonna love this TikTok." I'm like, I can't watch it. Sorry, bro. Won't let me log in. Mad at TikTok. Won't sign up again. Sorry.
Hey, so y'all heard here first, man. I really appreciate it. This was a very entertaining interview.
You didn't even ask me about the keys. It was the whole
and I was about to double back with that. Okay. On Facebook, we actually were able to see some of your work. We seen earrings. We seen like little gumballs.
Yeah. Well, those are just like little resin balls I've done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So explain to us about the earrings and the turnaround and the people wanting to actually purchase those.
Purchase them. Like if you have a silly first of all, if you have a silly idea, like if you want something on earrings, please hit me up. I will see what I can do. I love making silly stuff. Like I had so much fun making the crows. I have so much fun wandering around the stores and chuckling to myself about silly ideas I have. Like if you just want earrings that say bad words, I've done those. I am that guy. I will do them. I have done salty B word, salty C word. Those were fun. Somebody loved those. I even made some that said daddy at one point. And I was at an event and saw a lady wearing like I guess like a baseball jersey or something type shirt, button up like that, and it said daddy across the front of it. And I went, "Excuse me, ma'am. I have earrings that match your shirt. Come this way." And she bought them. She thought it was hilarious, and she bought them. And she wore them around the rest of that event, which I believe was Pride in the Park.
Okay.
Or no, that was Field Gay. That was Field Gay, which is a field day tournament basically put on by the Shreve Pride people, and it is very fun, and it's just a really fun event that takes place in the summer months here in Shreveport, and it's great.
All right. Is there any other questions that you have? Anything else you would like to tell the general audience about purchasing or anything like that before we close the session out?
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Can somebody explain quantum physics and string theory specifically to me? I would very much enjoy that.
I was trying to figure out how to. That's why I was sitting there trying to figure out
how much wood. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Those are just some general questions that I always have.
Okay.
That I think are really funny to say out loud and ask.
Hey man, we really enjoyed you. We like to send out a special shout out to Poetic X. He is a sponsor of Truth, Realness, and Options. We have his merch here. Support Speak Poetry. Make sure you support that. Hey, I'm Shady Will. Our executive producer, Jeff Trotter, behind the scenes working on cameras. We go holla, 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 holla.